We know what the New York Giants are looking for.
We're here because you're looking for the best of the best of the best, sir.
And are we finding that? Are we getting that? Are we understanding the salary cap? Is Joe Shane running us through the muck and the mire? Is there going to be some point in time where there is a total collapse once again, salary cap wise, between Brian Burns and our old buddy John Runyon Jr.? We've used up about 30 million of the 28, which leaves us a little, almost 9 million, but that's not including the Singletary deal, the other deal for the Raiders lineman, or Carter Coughlin, or the signing of the center, or we signed, what's his name, our center, the long snapper. It doesn't, or signing Gunner. It doesn't account for that. It does not take that into consideration. So we've talked about it. Who's minding the cap store? And I laugh because you could have gotten Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney for the same amount of money you paid John Runyon and Brian Burns. Brian Burns' deal is going to cost almost $25 million again. Oh, no, $23 million in the cap this year, 27.5 next year, I think 28 and 3/4, and then 30 and 30. John Runyon deal is going to be 6.5 this year, 11.75 next year, and 11.75 the following year. So that 30 million of your 38 is gone. So it leaves you about $9 million. But if you want to talk what they refer to as effective cap space, you have about 2.25. And that's once the Rule 51 kicks in, which is going to be, shockingly, wait for it, March 13th. I said it before, kiddies. I didn't invent math. I'm not sure what scholar invented math, but it wasn't me. I just look at the numbers. I just look at the dollar figures. You're going to have to massively start restructuring people, because this doesn't even take into account the rookie salary cap pool. The rookie salary pool doesn't take into account for that. So you're going to have to you're going to have to restructure Lawrence and Thomas. You're going to have to. And people that are like, well, he could just convert all that money into salary as bonus money. And, well, you know, that bonus money gets extended out into other cap years. So, yeah. So you already have a $22 million dead cap number for Daniel Jones in 2025. What do you want to make that 30? You want to push out the money from, and like I said, I had no problem with Shane re-upping Dex and Thomas. I had an issue about how he did it and how he did it consecutively, because the contracts will mature together, which means you're always going to have 3 guys now, excluding Daniel Jones, and Thomas, Burns, and Dex, all at the same time. They're all going to keep matriculating at the same time. Think about that for a minute. It's not a Hank Stram thing.
Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
We're not matriculating the ball down the field, but what it is the fact that you are still going to be in salary cap issues. I'm not going to say salary cap purgatory, but you're still going to have salary cap issues. And now you gave up a 2 and a 5. The 5 is 2025. But you also swapped 5th round picks this year. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You swapped 5th round picks this year. So I think the 5th round pick was like 120 something, and now we're like 140 something, 160 something. I can't remember the exact number, but we're going to drop a bunch of spots to swap those picks. And we didn't give up the 2nd rounder from Seattle. We gave up our 2nd rounder. So in a draft that you effectively can potentially trade back up and grab your developmental quarterback either in the lower half of the first or the lower half of the second, or the early half of the second, you've lost that flexibility unless you start dropping into draft capital for next season. Think about that. So now you went from having 7 picks this year to 6. Yes, Brian Burns is a good player. Yes, Brian Burns is a guy that if you had attacking style defense like Wink, I would get it. Shane Bowen blitzes maybe 25% of the time and relies on a 4-man front when he does blitz. I kept shouting to the rooftop, but no one ever fucking listened to me. And they're like, well, Shane runs a 3-4. He runs a base 3-4, but when he's in passing situations, he runs a 4-3 type scenario where he rushes 4 down linemen to trying to generate a pass rush. And he has weak secondaries. He has weak secondary play. So you're bringing in and we've talked about it before. Brian Burns, eerily similar to Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, eerily similar in reference to size and statistic ability. We went through it on the thing today, on the video today. He went 7 games without a sack last year. Brian Burns did. We broke it down, and I want to get to everyone in the chat, but I want to break down Brian Burns one more time for people that didn't listen to this. Last year, yes, he had 8 sacks for a bad Carolina team. You also have Kayvon Thibodeau, who had 10.5 sacks for a bad New York Giant team with a guy that blitzed the shit out of people. Brian Burns went, let's think of this, we'll count again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 games last year without a sack. 8 games. Ask me how many games he had either 0 or 1 solo tackle. I'll tell you, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he had 2 games with 0 solo tackles. And only plays in 80% of the snaps. Now, arguably his best season 2022. Let's figure it out. How many times did he have a half a sack or no sacks in a game? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times. He had 6 sacks out of his 12.5 in 3 games. Ask me how many times did he have either 0 tackles or 1 tackle, Tim? Solo tackles in his big season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2 of those games, he had 0 tackles. This is a guy that's going to be your pass rushing guy. This is a guy that's going to help maintain the edge. This is a guy that is going to go out there and do everything that you need him to do. This is a guy that in his big year had 34 tackles solo, but 29 assists. Whose stats do these remind you of?
Hey kids, look over there. Who is it? It's Kayvon, the friendly pass rusher. Oh no, now he's gone.
Potential is the word for Brian Burns. He's not Aaron Donald. He's not Joey Bosa. He's not any of the Bosa brothers. He's not Chris Jones. But you are paying him to be the X factor. You are paying him to be the stopper. You are paying him to be the guy that is going to make the big play when needed to help turn the defense around, to help turn the ship on defense to the right direction, to help move the needle. But his stats are eerily similar to a guy we drafted. Neither of them can play the run well. Both of them have problems and issues maintaining their assignments, holding the edge. And you're paying this guy like he is going to be the X factor. I'm not saying he's not going to be. And I'm not saying the compensation you gave up for him was terrible. I'm not saying any of that. But I'm saying this. If you literally look and statistically break down what he has done, that's the problem. Cortez Smith says he's disruptive. That's all that matters. No, it's not. We've talked about this before. We've talked about this a million times before. I heard this in Tampa in 2003. This is back in 2003. You can have all the stats you want for pressures and quarterback hits and all these things. What did they equate to? Was he a difference maker to a point that he was helping Carolina win games on defense. No, not the last 2 seasons. No. You can say Carolina was a bad team 100%, but the Giants have been the bad team 2 of the last 3 seasons. Being a disruptive factor is great. You need a finisher. We've said this about Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau that first year did not learn how to finish plays. Kayvon Thibodeau this year, you are hoping he learns how to finish plays more than he did last year. So it doesn't have to be with, he's a disruptor. No, I don't want a disruptor. I want a guy that finishes. I want a guy, said it before, that knocks your dick in the dirt to the point that you don't want to get up again. That's what I want. That's what you need. That's what you pay $25 million a year for. Not a guy who's like Kayvon Thibodeau that you drafted and is now going into your 3rd season, and both of the players have the same deficiencies. That's what makes me laugh. Let's look at Kayvon Thibodeau real quick. I know it's no fun to do, but I know it's no fun to do, and we've said it a million times on this channel, and maybe we just don't get it. Maybe we're just reaching a point where we got to figure out that nobody cares about the cap. Nobody cares about stats. Nobody cares about any of this shit. All we care about is getting guys that have names. And maybe that's what we just need to remember. And maybe we are just...
Are you crazy? Or just plain stupid?
Stupid as stupid does, Mrs. Blue.
Maybe we're just stupid as the stupid does, Mrs. Blue. Kayvon Thibodeau went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games without a sack, an additional 2 where he had only a half sack, so that's 8 games, and he got the majority of his sacks, 7 sacks in 3 games. Ask me how many times Kayvon Thibodeau had 0 tackles in reference to solo tackles or 1 in a game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ask me how many solo tackles Kayvon Thibodeau had. 26. How many assists? To 24. Now, it's eerily similar to our old buddy Brian Burns in 2022, whose team went 6-10. The Giants went 6-11 this year. I always joke, people, this ain't Madden. Getting names on your team doesn't help you win. That doesn't.
Go with what you are. Have you read the papers? Do you know what everybody says? It's suicide. You've seen him. You know how strong he is. You can't win.
I don't know if we can't win, Adrian. All I know is people hit the like button. Hit the like, or I'll start singing. And we know we don't want that. Let's go to the videotape and let's talk to some people. NY Frank says, this is going to be a good show. Sublight says, Shane didn't actually do bad with a lot of his signings. O-line, edge, running back, etc. We missed Saquon, but this is not a disaster. We are already a disaster. Here's the problem. John Runyon Jr., probably the eighth best tackle in free agency. Talked about it before. I spoke to someone who works in sports media in Green Bay, who covers the Packers, works with the Packers. And they said that Runyon was the weak link on the line. If his deal went anywhere near $10 million, the Packers weren't even going to touch him. He is athletic, but he's clumsy and has a tendency to fall over his own feet. He has issues with pre-snap penalties. While he is a good pass blocker, do not rely on him to pave the road as a runner. The guy we picked up with the Raiders, basically Cam Fleming. Then you get Devin Singletary, who's never had more than 800 yards in a season and is a 5'7" back that you're going to rely on to be your every down back. Or we're going to running back from committee, but the problem is we don't have the other part of the committee is Eric Gray, who is also a small back. If you want to look at the blueprint for free agency, go look at the Washington Commanders. And it pains the hell out of me to say this. Their free agency has been awesome. They have gotten guys on team. They've gotten high value, potential talent guys on team friendly deals. And now they just signed Marcus Mariota. We would dream to have Marcus Mariota on our team. Washington is like literally leading the way in reference how to build a team. I am so worried about their management. I'm so worried about Dan Quinn. We are going to the Super Bowl, guys. If you chase to buy tickets, that praying for a Fields trade. We need a quarterback, and all the quarterbacks are disappearing. All the quarterbacks are going away. I'm not even sure is Jacoby Brissett even available. And I don't even really want Jacoby Brissett. But we're running out. Where are we going to go? Daniel Jones and Danny DeVito? But don't worry, we got Brian Burns, who is exactly like Kayvon Thibodeau. Think about that. Think about the fact that Kayvon Thibodeau in 2 years had 111.5 sack season, and the majority, was it 5 years now he's been in the league, Brian Burns? He's had one season of 12 sacks and the rest are like 8 and 9. What's up, Alexander? What's up, Emmanuel? Chris says, howdy, Tim. Happy Tuesday. God love says, what's up, Tim? Todd Taylor says, 2024 free agents, 3 steps back on the shuffle to the side. Woot, woot. Listen, compensation-wise for Brian Burns, a 2, a 5 for 20. Well, the 2 is kind of bugs me because it's R2. It's not Seattle's 2. 2025 fifth, and I don't like swapping the 2 fifths, but I understand it because you are getting a guy that could potentially have the talent that you need. Potentially. What's up, Daryl? Zach says, I don't get what the Giants are doing. I don't get it. It's rudderless. You talk about Shane came in here and preached, we are going to build the foundation. We are building up from the foundation. We're going to draft well. We're going to augment in 3 for free agent. We're not going to overpay. And then he signs Daniel Jones to the 160. Then he comes out this year and says, well, I kind of got, he didn't say it by name, but it's like the one contract that kind of got away from my philosophy of not overpaying for players and building through the free and building through the draft. And then this year, when we only have 7 picks, he traded one of them away, swapped another. So now we only have 6 picks, and he took one of our seconds, which we could have potentially used to move up back into the first round or even draft a secondary quarterback, either after we got a wide receiver and maybe a corner, because we still haven't gotten a CB2 yet. But don't worry, we got about $2 million in operational cap space right now. Not counting the Carter Coughlin deal, the Gunner deal, the Singletary deal, or the other guy. Well, I don't even want to say his name because he's Cam. We're just going to call him Cam Fleming. Cam Fleming 2.0. We got Glowinski 2.0, Cam Fleming 2.0. Did we sign anyone today, or should I say we screwed up everything today? I don't think, did we sign anyone today? I know Jameis Winston we were looking at, we had interest in, and he already signed elsewhere. He signed elsewhere. Let's see here. I don't see the I don't Jameis Winston, I love it. He went over to I love it now because now they're saying Justin Fields' potential trade destinations include the Patriots and the Giants. We have been saying the Patriots for how long now? I did a whole video on it that somebody told me, don't be shocked if he ends up in New England and New England takes Marvin Harrison Jr. Don't be stunned because evidently this person who's a little bit in the know told me they love Marvin Harrison Jr. New England does. We're on a road to nowhere. And we lost Tyrod Taylor. We lost Tyrod Taylor to the Jets coming in Todd Taylor. We also have no running back, no quarterback, a wonky O-line, but we paid Kayvon Thibodeau's twin. I like that. Oh, my God. Where's Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger when you need him? Davey says, Tim, God is minding the cap store. I don't think God must be minding the cap store because hell, it ain't Joe Shane. I'm still trying to figure out the numbers. And I know it's not my job to figure it out. And everyone will say, well, you don't work in the NFL. You don't know anything about the cap. Really? Because I predicted the salary cap correctly under or over 100,000 for the last 4 years. And I've done it before the starts of the season. And I told you guys before the season even started last year that we were going to run out of cap space by midseason, if not a couple games after. You right now have about $2.5 million of effective cap space. And that's once the Rule 51 kicks in on March 31st. That's what you have. That is literally what you have. Oh, who's sending me a message on Twitter? Don't Twitter me. We're on a road to nowhere. McKinney, I would have understand the move, but move on from Barkley. I don't understand McKinney or the Barkley move, to be perfectly honest. Barkley everyone says that Barkley didn't have any market value. Barkley's never going to get any money. He'll be lucky to get $6 million. He got the second highest contract for a running back in NFL history. And he had a bidding war evidently going on between the Texans, the Eagles, and I forget the other team. Oh, Baltimore. Because they saw value in a 27-year-old running back who, if you put behind a good offensive line, is probably going to get to 1,400 yards and probably catch 70 balls. If you understand ball placement, when you're throwing to a running back out of the backfield, which Daniel Jones has no idea, you can't go for almost 70, 80 receptions, where how many he had his rookie season, and serendipitously drop every year after Eli Manning left. There's a reason for that. There's a rationale for that. Zach doesn't get what the Giants are doing. We are rebuilding, or what are we doing? That's a good point. Are we rebuilding everything we're going to win now? Douglas said, you didn't invent math, lol. When did school teach that? I don't know. I must have been absent the day they taught math. What's up, Big Will? You getting jiggy with it? Yo, Tim, it's going to be... What's going on, man? What position do you think we need to address first? Quarterback, safety, or linebacker? Well, I'm going to go quarterback, because you have an injured and sucky Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito. Then I'm going to have to go safety, because we have Dane Belton and Jason Pinnock. Then I have to go corner, because we only really have... Someone tells me Cordell Flott, you're fucking banned for 5 minutes. Then you're going to have to go corner, and then you need at least 2 outside linebackers. Because you have 2 ends that can't play. You have 2 defensive ends that are linebacker size who can't play the run. We need a secondary team to root for. What's up, Miguel? This Burns deal, I understand why everyone's excited. He's a best average. We paid him like if he is a difference maker, then I'm fine with that. If he is a difference maker, I am fine with that. If he's an X factor, I'm fine with that. I didn't see it in Carolina. I watched 2 years of tape in Carolina. I didn't see it. Saw it like in 3 games. But there's 17 games in a season. The Jets signing Tyrod Taylor, backup Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, that's mad. We got OGR says, here listening. What's good, chat? What's good, Tim? Everything's good. Alexander says, I like to trade for Burns. I hope it pays off too, but you're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. You have a guy who's going to cover? I mean, who is your secondary guy? Who is he? Who's your safety? I want to thank all those that are watching on Twitter and on YouTube as always, and on NewYorkGiantsLive.com. 118 people in the chat. Another 70-something over in Twitter. Another 20-something over on OnlineBigBlue.com. Our NewYorkGiantsLive.com. I don't know the fuck name of the website. Why are we getting popular? Why is this channel getting popular? What the hell's wrong with people? Burns would have been worth the investment if we had a quarterback. Yeah. Dom says, apologies for sending you a WhatsApp, Tim. I didn't realize you're going live, though my comment is probably very appropriate for your current discussion. Dom, I didn't even look at my phone. I'm on a road to nowhere. I'm checking gold prices right now. I got to check gold prices. And I haven't checked the market. Does anyone know what the market's doing today? We got any market news out there? No, I got to check the market real quick. It says, please try again. Okay, I'm going to log on again. Everyone just amuse yourselves. I have facial recognition on my phone, so evidently it didn't understand the microphone. All right, we're not having a terrible day on the market. We're not doing bad today. We're not doing good. We're not doing bad. We're not doing good, but we're not doing bad. Let's see here. MK5 says, the Bird trades makes no sense to me. This seems like if you're a Super Bowl contender, 100%. If you are a Super Bowl contender, if you are a defensive end or a difference maker away, a potential difference maker away from making a deep playoff push, I get it. Source says the Falcons are signing Bears Mooney. Oh, giving him a new key playmaker for Kirk Cousins. Mooney's actually not a bad player. C. Sanders goes, sup? You think my dream, Azuda and Penix, is out of the window? Potentially. Potentially it is. It potentially could be now. We are dating on potential. Here's the other problem you have. The dream of trading back up into the second round, that dream, first round, it's probably gone. Because with this deal and the maturing cap space for both Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau, the maturing contracts of both Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas, do you really think you are going to grab two guys on guaranteed 4-year contracts in the first round now? People need to think about that for a second. You're going to have to grab guaranteed contracts. What's up, Mr. Jackson? Yeah, you also have to look at what those other guys we pay. Kirk Cousins just got $45 million a year. Yeah, because they don't have a quarterback. And they're going to make a push. They're going to make a push to try to win. And they have more cap space than we do. Todd says, keep this in mind. Kayvon doesn't get double teamed, so the team will be able to double team Burns if he looks like. I you know what the problem is with this? I think there's a misconception that Kayvon does not get double ups. I forgot he got blocked by a quarterback. How many times does Kayvon Thibodeau get pushed out of the play by a tight end? I've seen that a couple of times last year. Omar says this team needs to be sold. He says he's the best pass rusher who was available to get this offseason. You're crazy. So if the best car to buy is a 1987 Hugo made out of Yugoslavia, and it's the best car on the market, you're saying you should overpay to get it. That's what.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
You're putting time out. You're putting time out. Fisher says Tibbs is the only player who ever to get double digit sacks under Wink scheme. He was asked to defend the Eagles, take up blockers. No, he wasn't. No. I've watched every game. I went to the majority of the home games. I went to 2 away games. I watched Kayvon Thibodeau got pushed out of a play repeatedly by a tight end. I've seen Kayvon Thibodeau get taken out of plays and pushed off to the sidelines by a tackle with no help. Sorry. Wink scheme doesn't benefit the pass rush. It relies on linebackers or cornerbacks positioning for pressures. That's why you would have put Brian Burns as a stand-up lineman in a, wait for it, linebacker position. Guys, and I love you, Cortez, think before you type. Think of the process. Dr. Garrett says, I do like them tripling down on offensive linemen, probably get another guard in the first or third round. Doesn't mean we'll be able to block anyone. Fisher says, take away the sacks in the commies game. He had 7 sacks in 3. He had 11.5 sacks. He had 7 in 3 games. Good Lord. Sometimes I wonder if I'm the only one that watches. Besides the people that watch this channel. How many chances are we going to give Shane and Dabo? They continue making bad decisions year after year. They need to go when Daniel Jones gets. You know what's funny?
King of the almost sack.
Basically the same compensation. And basically with Leonard Williams, we ended up signing him to that big deal because of the fact that we thought he was going to be an X factor after that big season, which he never was. He never even came close to his after his big season. He had 6.5 sacks, 2.5 sacks, 1.5 sacks. Well, technically 5.5 if you count the rest of the years. But at least he could play the run. His run play has gone down exponentially in the last 3 seasons, but at least he could play the run. Name a team that has a better starting defensive line than the Giants right now. How about the 49ers? I mean, that's literally off the top of my head. How about the Chicago Bears? And those are the Bears, and they were a bad team. Oh, Jacoby is now a Patriot. Oh, okay. So we don't have, okay. So I don't know. Is Mitchell Trubisky still out there? Hey, Tim. Yes, I looked at the signings from yesterday and was dumbfounded after comparing it to what we did. Washington had a great signing. I look at Washington and I'm befuddled. I'm like, okay, this is what an organization does. High-end potential, high-end talent, low team-friendly, team-controlled deals, and you have the second pick overall. And you are reshaping your roster with the cap space you have and not overpaying guys. Who the fuck would think about doing that? Oh, Trubisky is a bill again. Oh, so Trubisky's gone too. Okay. All right. Well, hell, I'm coming out of retirement, guys. Davey says, hey, I got a better name. The king of the almost act, king of the almost act that got away. Salute to Tim, Saquon, Xavier. Gone. Life goes on. Life does go on. Yeah, John Runyon is not that bad. They just said in Green Bay if he wanted anywhere close to 10 million, they were just going to get rid of him. They weren't going to get him. And they called him, this was someone that works in sports media, covers the Packers, said that he is the weakest link on the line, has problems getting around his own feet, good pass block, better than average pass blocker. Don't expect much out of his run blocking skills. Don't pull him. Don't do anything that's going to be tricky because he has issues with pre-snap penalties and he falls over his own feet. I always love that one. I love that because he literally, I got to ask him if I get to post the email because he literally typed, he falls over his own feet. Logic says, we can't win without a quarterback. Danny DeVito and Tyrod did better than Jones, but Mara paid Jones and let Saquon walk. The truth hurts, but Mara is running this team. This is a great question. What is the Giants' identity? The only thing that can save the Giants is Penix and McCarthy falling into the second round. The problem is that they fall into the second round. You no longer have that additional second round pick. Your whole draft scenario potentially could change. You figure the Giants are going to look at wide receiver now at 6. You got to figure that. But your additional cachet of picks to move potentially back up into the lower half of the first round is gone. Because now you only have 6 picks in this draft. You're not going to move back up into the first round and have, and maybe only have 5. But the problem is then right now you have $2 million in operational cap space, and this all hits starting tomorrow when the Rule of 51 kicks in. So you still have a CB you need to sign, unless you're going to get another one in the draft. But we can't rely on the corners that we have on the roster because none of them are proven. But don't worry, we're going to have a pass rush. Now, we've said it before, a good pass rush can cover a bad secondary, but the problem is when you have a bad secondary and you really don't have anyone outside of Banks and maybe Pinnock, that's not a good look. And Philadelphia's retooling. Washington's retooling. Washington's rebuilding. They're not retooling. They're rebuilding, and rebuilding in a smart way. That's what I don't get. That's literally what I am trying to figure out as we speak. People always tell me, Tim, you're not here to get it. Mr. Jackson said, this team, I can't take it anymore. T-Rad says, hit the like button matters. Listen to the T, who depressed the hell out of all of us yesterday. We almost, between T-Brad's depression and James Williams' rant, if you didn't watch the live stream yesterday, and you didn't watch the James Williams rant yesterday, you have to go back and watch it. I mean, I'm going to say epic in reference to his rant, was not even close to a word to describe his rant. What's up, Strider? Tim, what do you think of John Runyon? I don't like the John Runyon signing. It's a better signing than we've ever done before. I mean, he's better than anyone we have on the roster. But that's not saying much. That's like saying garbage is better than trash. And I'm not saying he's garbage or trash. I'm just saying that, like I said, Green Bay considered him the last 3 years the weakest link on the line, and they didn't re-sign him for a reason. And Green Bay was a playoff team or playoff contending team. And they didn't want to bring back their starting guard of the last 3 seasons. Can't Dex and Thomas contracts be reworked from? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to rework. You're going to have to rework those 2 deals. If you even think about touching that Daniel Jones contract, if you think about it, I've told you what I'm going to call and tell you.
I don't want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is. Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
That's what I'm going to say to Joe Shane. Tim, you were correct. We barely had money last year. Then the season started. I don't like doing cap videos anymore. Everyone now is a cap expert. I love it now. I've been doing this for 3 years, the cap and everything, but everyone now is this cap expert. All these guys are capologists. No, you're all fucking morons. Because you go off these websites and you get your numbers from that cap spaces but they don't get all the numbers. You actually literally, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm not going to get into it. I'm so confused to say next year's going to be a shit show. It is an insult to the phrase shit show. Logic says, Mara's not drafting a quarterback. We will rework and extend Jones. Blame Shane and Dable. Everyone wants. The blame starts with Mara. You're right. I think they're fine. They just built around actual strengths of defense. You have one linebacker because we don't know what Micah McFadden's going to be yet in the new system. You have one linebacker, one starting corner who is going into his second season. So if he has a sophomore slump, we're in trouble. You have Dane Belton, who got benched. Now it would have been 2 years ago in the Texans game and did not see the field for almost a year and a half. And the only reason he saw the field because of the injuries, and everyone wants to talk about his 3 turnovers, but nobody wants to talk up that he was the trailer on 4 consecutive touchdowns, which is why he got benched in the Texans game 2 years ago. And you got Jason Pinnock, who's coming off an injury. Ryan, you want to go get Yusef Corker again? So we spent mid-tier money for Runyon and Glowinski 2.0, but if you would have paid Hunt $20 million per year, they also are horrible because we can't pay anyone. Why should we even roll it back? I agree. I agree. Tim, you made DJ urinate down his leg at the town hall. The Giants haven't recovered since. Yes. Someone else told me that my DJ question was the reason he had a bad season. The funniest thing was it wasn't even a terrible question. It's like I said, the response was even worse because I've never seen a guy. If you've ever taken psychology in college, you learn body language. And the minute after I asked him the question, he grabbed his stomach like this and started rocking back and forward. I was like, oh, that's bad. Because if you're getting a dumbass question from a dumbass like me, that was bad. Don't forget to hit the like button or I'm going to sing. Do you want me to sing? Is that it? Do you really want me to sing? Because I got 36 likes. I need 50. Sun's out again today. I keep telling people I'm a reverse. Everyone's like, you've been fired up the last couple of days. I'm a reverse. I tell people all the time I'm a reverse vampire. The sun's out. Sun's out, buns out. Eli knows how to read the defenses. That's why he knows how to get the ball to Barkley, and DJ can't. You're right. And Jalen's going to do the same thing. Greg says, sup, Big Tim? You traded your best young player who is still a captain is brilliant. I don't get it, man. I was fine with getting Burns with 5 years, 150. I don't know, head scratcher. It just doesn't make sense. Todd says, Ryan, there is no cult here, but a cult of losing culture. Thank you. You should hear culture in the locker room. What culture? Big Don, let's go, Tim. Speak the truth. You know I'm always going to speak the truth. Jay Infinity said he's not 26, so how is this patch in the hole? He's not a washed-up veteran. He's not a patch in the hole. Nobody said he was a patch in the hole. And who are we talking about? Are we talking about Runyon or are we talking about Burns? Because someone in Green Bay literally told me he was the worst. He was the weakest link on the Packers line the last 3 seasons, and he trips over his own feet. Giants, let's see. Eagles overpaid to return to the Super Bowl. This team sucks again. Contenders, we will see that. We'll see that in last year. Yeah, the Eagles are just doing. Yeah. I don't know what all the Saquon hate is. And Jay Infinity, you're banned. You're wonka.
Nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
You're put in timeout for 10 minutes. I don't know what all the Saquon hate is. All Saquon did was do everything the Giants asked him to do. And then the Giants shit all over him by signing Daniel Jones and going to battle with their star running back, who arguably was last 2 seasons was their entire offense, or 60% of their offense. You put this kid's career in jeopardy by drafting a numbnuts like Daniel Jones, who can't even throw him the ball out of the backfield. I love the 2 interceptions people talk about with Saquon Barkley. Oh, look, see how bad those play. Okay, one play he was falling down backwards trying to catch the ball because the ball wasn't put in front of him. And in the Dallas game, which I was at, it was another time that he was basically spinning around trying to pirouette to catch the ball that was behind him thrown by a stupid-ass quarterback. And you are going to hate Saquon Barkley for that. I hope to God Saquon runs for 2,000 fucking yards. I hope he turns into Happy Valley Barkley. Because even Tiki Barber, and Saquon was right. Tiki's like, well, you're dead to me. You abandoned your teammates. No, Tiki, you abandoned your teammates. You walked out on the Giants because you didn't like the philosophy of Tom Coughlin and the direction of the team. But what did they do the next year? They won a fucking Super Bowl. So Tiki needs to take a big tall glass, shut the fuck up, and keep kissing the Giants' ass, because that is the only way you're going to get back in the good graces after what you said in 2007. So you want to be super homer? You go right ahead, Tiki. You can fight for that moniker with Carl Banks and Howard Cross. But you don't disparage a guy that all he did was give you everything that he had on the field. People like, and a guy that probably injured himself, more than likely, trying to do too much. We want to talk about the injury he had in year 2 when he was having a great season. You know what how that injury was caused? It was caused by a bad throw off a bad quarterback.
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Sure enough.
Sure enough. I want to thank so far the 140 people we got over in the whatever that thing is called. I want to thank the 140 people, and I want to thank that we got over here on YouTube, and the over 90 something plus people we got sitting over there in the Twitter sphere. We're on a road to nowhere. Yeah, Giants stock tanked. Giants stock tank. I saw it. Kayvon, the friendly pass rusher, with Brian, the overpaid rusher. What couldn't go wrong? Nothing could go wrong at all. Javier says the biggest hater and half the time is completely clueless. You know what, Javier? You're a fucking idiot. How about that?
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
There you go, Javier. That's what I'm going to say to you. You call someone a hater for speaking the truth, you're an idiot. How about that? Because you don't have a mind of your own to speak. You are a lemming. You are part of the collective. Your idea is, I'm going to follow this team blindly till they fall off both cliffs, and I'm going to be okay with it. Because if I question something, my IQ may go over 70. No, you should wait till there's a better car available. There you go, Mr. Fitness. Mr. Fitness gets it. What's the likelihood we draft a quarterback seriously? You're going to have to. Because who the hell is out there right now? Who are the free agent NFL? Let's go NFL free agent quarterback, free agent QBs. Who's left? I mean, seriously, who is left right now? Let's go. Let's see. Let's go. If we see if we can't find on the big board here, who is left? I think Ryan Tannehill's still out there. Is Ryan Tannehill still out there? Let's see. Tyrod Taylor's gone. We have Sam. No, let's see here. We can't do Sam Darnold. Jameis Winston's gone. So we got Ryan Tannehill, Drew Lock. I think Bridgewater's retired. I don't want to touch Flacco. Don't want Brian Hoyer. Don't want Joshua Dobbs. I don't need an astronaut quarterback. And I'm not doing Blaine Gabbert. I'm not doing Carson Wentz. I think Brandon Allen just signed. I'm not doing AJ McCarron. I'm not doing Trevor Siemian. I'm not doing Matt Barkley. I'm not doing AJ McCarron. I'm not doing Mason Rudolph. And I'm not doing Garrett Gilbert. Kayvon never gets doubled. He gets blocked by the quarterback. One hand, he's the same. They're very similar players. I hope he develops. I really do. I hope he comes in kicking ass and taking names. I hope he is the X factor. I hope I'm 100% wrong. We don't have a clear direction. Here's the thing. You're right. We don't have a clear direction. You talk about building and rebuilding, but now, once again, like we did last year, we seem like we are trying to rebuild on the fly to be competitive in a rebuild. Darren Waller just needs to retire because then we save almost $7 million. So Darren, if you're out there, could you just retire? Go be a rapper. I hear you're really good.
That's what she said.
But Tim, don't forget Kayvon showed that he was not interested in playing. The last 5 games of the season, Kayvon did not look like he had much interest in playing. Good example. Jalen Hurts blocking Kayvon Thibodeau. Guys, I really have no idea what play you're talking about. I don't know what play you're talking about, guys. I've never seen it. How the hell would the 5th overall pick be blocked by a quarterback? My soundboard, I thought, went out today. Not the audio board, the soundboard, the sound effects board. And I nearly panicked. I was like, oh my God, I gotta go buy a new one. And this is from like a radio station. And they don't make these anymore. This is the instant replay, something. So I literally panicked. People complaining about Brian Burns. After haven't watched him play. He's like, you know what? I've watched him play. I watched him play the last 2 seasons. You're probably late to the.
Welcome to the party, pal.
You're probably late to the party, pal. So you know what? Just for you, we're gonna quickly do it again. Because everyone loves when we go through statistics. Everyone loves it when we talk about what people have actually done and not just look at the total of everything. Okay, sir, how many times do you think he had 0 sacks, or how many times do you think he had 0 sacks last season, Brian Burns? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. How many times did he have 0 or 1 tackle? 1 solo tackle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And you had 2 games with no solo tackles whatsoever. And then you go to his and he had most of his sacks in. I'm not even going to get into it anymore. Heart of a John, I'm going to tell you something. And this is from the heart. Don't just look at statistics. Look at his actual gameplay. Look at what he's done. Was he an X factor the last 2 years for a 6-10 team and a 4-win team? No. Kayvon Thibodeau was more of an X factor at times with the Giants for like 3-4 games than Brian Burns was. I'm not saying it's a bad trade. I'm not saying he's a bad player. But you gave him $25 million a year to be Joey Bosa. The thing about Runyon is he could be worse than what we have. And I don't think he'll be worse than what we have. I think Runyon will not be worse than what we have. I really do. I do not think he will be worse. Because that's sane. Safe to say, don't talk trash to Cowboy and Eagle fans. Thank you, Joe Shane. David says, Runyon sounds like a giant already. He really does. Athletic, but can't block. He's Matt from Connecticut. Receiver, who's going to get on the ball? No. We don't need a wide receiver. We got a 5'7" running back. We got a 5'7" wide or 5'6" wide receiver. We got a toothpick known as Jalen Hyatt who can't get off the line and gets knocked off his route. So we got Darius Slayton and a tight end that can't stay healthy. And no one to throw him the ball. But don't worry, we got Brian Burns and John Runyon of $30 million of our $38 million cap space. And starting tomorrow, we are going to have about $2.1 million of operational cap space once the Rule of 51 kicks in. Not going to say I told you so. I'm not gonna say it. It's the OBJ dilemma with Giant fans. Barkley fans want to keep this guy, but keep losing it. Here's my thing with Barkley, Miss Cortez. I'm gonna get this real quick. You're at your job, and I'm gonna simplify this because I don't like complicated numbers. You're at your job making $20 an hour. Market value for you is probably $30 an hour. Let's just say, and you feel like your current company is disrespecting you. and this new company comes in and who says they want you, they really think they value you, and though market value is $30 an hour, we're going to give you 40. So we're going to double your current salary, and we really want you to be here. You're going to leave. You're going to go elsewhere. No one's going to sit there and call you a traitor. You're a traitor. You're dead to me. No, you're taking the money and you're going where you want, where you're going to be valued, because that's the person that's willing to pay you. But no, it doesn't apply to sports. That's why I love it when the guy said yesterday, I root for a team, I don't root for the player. So Barkley going to the Eagles doesn't bother me, because he's a player going to make his money. That's what's wrong with this world. Take your real life scenarios and move it into football, move it into sports. And that'll tell you where people think and where people are at in this world. I wish Barkley runs for 2,000 yards. I hope he gets 400 yards in 2 games against the Giants, just off the disrespect that he is getting for going somewhere to be valued, to be respected, and to get paid because we didn't want to pay him here. Unless after the Burns trade, they're already intended to trade. They might be able to, they may want to trade back. But I don't think you're gonna get you're not gonna get another. I don't know. We'll see. Logic's Mind says Kevin gets disappearing for games in the ends, multiple sacks in 2-3 games, disappeared for games at times. I got people. I know people that live in Carolina. I know people that are season ticket holders for the Panthers. People are like, don't care. It's like when the smooth sounds of Kenny G came to the Giants. I talked about this. I talked about people that I went and started bragging. Hey, we got baby Megatron. Like, so we don't care. He didn't want to play. He probably could have came back from the hip pointer, or he might be washed up. We don't care. So when I talk to people in Carolina and they're like, it's like, okay. Let's see. Rob Sports says investing in the offense should take precedence over the defense. Burns is good, but we have no quarterback. You're right. Now you've lost your draft capital to trade back up into the round to get a quarterback, unless you trade down, which means you may potentially be sacrificing a wide receiver, even though it's a deep wide receiver draft. OG says, it's the way of looking at Belichick will be the coach next year. T-Rad says, Joe must go. Joe must go. I'm sorry we could have traded Barkley at the deadline and definitely lost a few more games. You could have traded Barkley. You could have traded McKinney. You could have lost at least 2 more games and be sitting either at the 2nd or the 3rd pick. Oh, my God. Was that Sid Caesar's pep rally speech from Greece? It might have been. You want to know why? I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control, because the power you're supplying is electrifying. Dude, DeVito sucks. Why do fans act like he's good? The Saints game exposed him. Our defense, the Saints game was just crushing. And I kept telling people before the Saints game, this whole celebration was going to go horribly wrong once he crashed back down to earth. And the first sack in the Saints game, the very first one, it's like, oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord. We sit there and we extol the virtues of an Italian stereotype, and then it all falls apart against the Saints. McFadden did play well, but he also got benched last year. Kevin says, I absolutely love James' Wynn rant last night. He expressed everything I was feeling. James was awesome. James was awesome. Great rant last night from James. Joseph says, watch this. Joseph says, hey, Tim, should I use a paper bag or plastic bag to cover? Use a paper bag. Always use a paper bag. Timothy, we got Singletary. Yeah, great. We got a running back's never run for over 800 yards. He's 5'7", and he's going to be running back by committee. And the second running back by that committee right now is Eric Gray. And Eric Gray can't get out of the line. They really think they can replicate the 2002 season with their best offensive players on the Eagles now, trying to replicate 2022, but will that probably repeat 2021? Here's my thing with the Eagles. You got Jalen. You got AJ Brown. You got Devontae Smith. And you got I can't remember their tight end. You got the tight end, and you got Saquon Barkley. Yowza. Don't worry about Brian Burns. He won't have Daniel Jones throwing the ball to him unless it's during practice.
Are you a big man?
I'm sorry. We should pick up Joe Mixon. Yeah, why not? Why not? Darren Waller needs to retire for $7 million, almost $7 million, like 6.5 if he retires. Good morning, Matthew and Tim and Opie family. I'm going to have to catch the stream on Rewind again. I'm disappointed I missed the stream yesterday. James was on fire. James was in fuego yesterday. If you didn't see it and you don't know it, go watch it, because James literally burned down the internet. And now I catch him up on Twitter basically going, if you say stupid stuff in your live streams, the other content creators, James is coming after you. We got 100, and how many likes do we have? We're on a road to nowhere. We have 46 likes. We have 125 people and 46 likes. We got 240 people watching, and we only got 46 likes. What am I, a clown? What do I amuse you? What's so fucking funny about me? I love Goodfellas. OG says, preach, Tim. Tiki needs to stop sucking up to the organization Homer fans that hate him. Love God says, true. Matthew says, I'm legitimately concerned we are never going to improve a quarterback at this point. Not sure how I feel about going forward with this team either. Strider all says, Tiki, Javier, I wouldn't keep leaving comments because you got banned for 5 minutes. Tiki finding out he's retiring before the 2026 season ended was the middle finger. It was middle of the season, Tim, and us Giant fans were like, what the fuck? I went to Tiki Barber's last home game. Me and the wife in the old Meadowlands. We were about 15 rows behind the end zone. Waller's going to do some scumbag and wait till the retire in September. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Tannehill. Great. We're going to get Ryan Tannehill. We're going to get a washed up Ryan Tannehill. Tim's on fire, and we are all screwed. I can only laugh when the Daniel Jones again. When Antonio Pierce was asked about Tiki Barber's retirement in 2006, AP was like, in the middle of the season? Where's Minshew? Minshew's gone. Gardner Minshew. Where did Gardner Minshew go? I wish we could have gotten more Gardner Minshew. I love it. I mean, anyone that's, I call him the porn stash. But anyone that's, looks like he's got the porns, but now he's got the whole beard. He went with the Raiders. He took a 2-year, $25 million contract with the Raiders. And he basically had the same season as Daniel Jones outside the rushing yards. And his team went 9-8. But don't worry. We're going to give Daniel Jones. Oh, Tyler Huntley. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good now. I'm good. No, Sam Darnold is signed someplace else. It will be Matt Barkley again. I've heard they're looking. No, Jameis Winston signed. Jameis Winston signed already. Tim, don't encourage Waller's rap career. He stinks. I didn't know who was worse. Kayvon Tim. I didn't know if Kadarius Toney or Waller was worse. Waller's pretty bad. Waller is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Derrick Henry is a Raven. So Derrick Henry's a Raven now. Oh, great. Big L. Me Gigante, what's up? I am done with Shane. He has no strategy. It's the same BS trying to rebuild and trying to make the playoffs. It really doesn't make sense. The Brian Burns, if you are a team that's a couple players away from a deep playoff run, if you've been a playoff team, a wild card playoff team for a couple of years, and you need to make this push, you need to find this way to get the defense. You need to find a way to make some stops. You need to find a way to beat your divisional opponents. You go out and get a Brian Burns. You do what you need to do to get him. You go out and pay him. If you're a 6-win team with no quarterback, no running back, you're trying to rebuild the offensive line on the fly, no free agency. No tight end, no true number one wide receiver, missing a bunch of linebackers, a starting safety, a CB2, and you go out and get Brian Burns. I mean, someone can explain it to me. I'd be fine. I'm listening. And I don't think anyone's picked up a Dory Jackson. Isn't it Dory Jackson still out there? Which I'm kind of surprised about. I thought he would. I thought someone would have picked him up. Does a Dory Jackson come back to the Giants? He did play for Shane Bowen. I keep hearing that. He only had one interception last year, but he went back for a 76-yard touchdown. Does he go back to the Giants? If I'm him, I go to a contender. That's just me, though. I want to go at this point in your career. It'd be nice to go win something. Even Mariota signed with the Commanders. Yeah, I saw that. First time watching you, Lando. Welcome, Lando. How's Han Solo? Lando Calrissian, though, is the man of all mans. Billy D. Williams, Colt 45 commercials. We talked about it. We got Lando. Oh, yeah, there's Lando. We got Lando right back there. Lando's right there in the back. And I also have the Colt 45 Lando bobblehead somewhere up here. I got your number, Colt 45. Joe Shane thought he had a black Amex card for a salary cap. I think he might have. Lando says, first time watching you, your general approach is to build. What's your general approach to building a roster? Thank you for asking. My general approach for building the roster is very simple. You build through the draft, you augment through free agency, and especially on this type of team where you're still a quarterback away, you go do what Washington did. You get young talent who could potentially be on the cusp of being something special, get them on team-friendly contracts that are the team are basically controlling, and then you take the second overall pick and you get yourself a quarterback as you're retooling your roster with younger, potentially higher-end talents on team-friendly deals. That's what a team does. That's what you're supposed to do in sports. You build through the draft, you augment through free agency and trades. Joe Shane came out and said, "How do you miss on 5 and 7?" I love that comment. So smug too. He goes, "How do you? Everyone thinks I'm so great. How do you screw up on having the 5th and the 7th pick?" Well, you might have. He potentially could have. Brian says draft a wide receiver at 6 and gamble on Penix, but you got to get Penix. Are you going to gamble that Penix or McCarthy is going to get to the second round? And now your second round pick is not the Seattle pick. It's not our own second round pick. It is the Seattle pick. So people forget that. We traded that second round pick, which I don't have a problem with. We traded that second round pick, but we didn't trade our pick. So we traded we traded our pick, which is the 39th pick. And we now have the 47th pick. And now I think we had the 140th pick in round 5. I think we got like 164 now because we swapped 5th rounders, 2024 5th rounders as well. So yeah, unless you're going to dip into your draft capital for next year, but you've already given up a 5th for next year, that's what you're going to need to do to move up into the draft. What's up, Joe Rev? You are late, but I love you, brother. Derrick Henry to the Raiders. Also, Mixon was traded to Houston. I did it to like, heck, you amuse me. Well, I'm glad I amuse you. What am I? I got to get that sound. What am I, a fucking clown? What do I amuse you? What's so fucking funny about me? Greatest Goodfellas scenes ever. Can the Giants draft a running back? I think they can. There is a lot of guys. We talked about this. There's a lot of guys in the draft right now that you could probably get it's going to have to be in the later rounds now. I was going to say you could probably get with the second round pick, or you could probably get with a later pick. I mean, I think, I like what's his name. I like Bucky Irving out of Oregon. We talked about it before. I like those bigger guys. I like those bigger backs. I like Allen out of Wisconsin. I like Benson out of Florida State. Brooks out of Texas would be someone, but I think he's probably the number one back on the board. He might be gone early or end of the first, early into second, but there are guys you can get. I like Shipley. I like, what's his name? He's not a bigger back, but he's a good back. I like that kid Shipley out of Clemson. I like Jabari Smalls out of Tennessee. He's another guy you could probably get later in the draft. Hey, we're not getting a lot of Twitter likes today, guys. I'm not seeing the bubble. I'm like a child, guys. I like seeing the bubble. So those on Twitter, hit the bubble. Hit the like button. Hit the bubble. People are like, what is this person asking me? I don't know who these people are. Listen, I love everyone, but I don't know who certain YouTubers are. So if you ask me if I like these people or if I ever go on their show, I have no idea who Blonde Blitz is. No fucking clue. I literally have no clue who they are. So I know I would never go on their show because I don't know who they are. What's up, Tim? Everyone hates Tiki now. Not everyone. A lot of people think he's right. Minshew went to the Raiders. Thank you, Joe. We did get that. Penix, fingers crossed for Michael Penix. Just trade for Justin Fields. I would take a third rounder next year. Send it over to if here's the only thing that bugs me about the whole scenario right now in with the Bears. Caleb Williams blew off his top 30 visit with the Bears. He said it was too much to travel back and forth to the coast with his pro day coming up. Didn't release his medical records because he felt like he didn't need to. I'm not saying he's pulling an Eli Manning and trying to push himself out of Chicago, but it's a little weird. It's getting a little weird. But the problem is this. Oh, we traded some draft capital, so there's no need. You couldn't even now consider trading up for the first overall pick. And well, the way the salary cap is structured, that first overall pick contract is not going to fit. 6 isn't fitting right now either. But that's okay. We're going to restructure a bunch of deals. Dory knows we are broke. Yeah, we are broke as a joke. Daryl says, when will we get a GM that is fully committed to a rebuild? Gettleman, I thought at one point was going to be fully committed to a rebuild. Then he screwed it up too. Skyline says, hey, Tim, what are the payment breakdowns for Brian Burns? We went through this already. And, you know what? I'm sorry. We went through this already. And just for you, Skyline, because I love you, we're going to go through it again, and we're going to make it simple. We're just going to give you the cap numbers right now. He's 23.5 this year, 27.75 next year, 28.75 next 26, 30 million in 30.5 million in 2027, 30.5 million in 2028, and 80 something million of it's guaranteed. And he keeps getting workout bonuses as well. And if you combined in the John Runyon moves, we spent $30 million between these two players, which is actually the year per average is the same amount we could have for Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney. Once again, Tim didn't invent math. I didn't. Tim, no math. Tim read. You know where Tim reads? He likes to read these wonderful articles on NewYorkGiantsLive.com. They're all written by this wonderful guy. Watch the live stream there, read new articles. We have the online Big Blue replay radio, which is going to have exclusive content on it. T-Brad says the Giants will not be getting a quarterback. Please, Wonka, the Giants front office. I wouldn't trade any of these. I wouldn't touch any of these draft wide receivers till at least the third round. The class is deep, but it's not weak. The class is deep. Hey, there's a Twitter bubble. We're gonna have a Twitter bubble sound effect.
What is wrong with you?
Chip, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Chip's lucky I don't scissor kick his head. And that probably wasn't apropos in regards to having a Twitter bubble thing. Teams are going to try to win by trying to convince grown-ass men to lose so they can draft the replacements. It's crazy. They're trying to win for the bag. Boston Consultant Group, what's up? First-time listener, long-time listener, first-time caller. I love that. Realistically, how do you wake up every morning being so good-looking? Thanks. I've said this before. It's not easy being dashingly handsome. I've said it a million times. It's not easy being me. It's really not. Because to have my type of personality and my type of arrogance and attitude, you got to back it up. And I always say one of my favorite lines is from the kids' rock song. You know, you say I'm cocky, and I say what? I ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. Geez, I wish I just had some confidence. Henry to the Ravens. James Williams has recovered from the rant from last night, I think. We've talked about this before. James' rant was epic. Epic. And that's being nice. The internet is still on fire with James' rant. James' rant covered everything from free agency to Brian Burns to Daniel Jones to driving Miss Daisy 2 to the angry black man syndrome to, I mean, I can't even remember what else we talked about, but it was, to rolling 3 joints at once. Go watch it on the stream last night. I might just have to spend the hour. I was thinking about doing this last night, but it's work, and I really don't feel like doing a lot of work. But I may have to just cut the last hour. I might have to cut the last hour of the stream and just record it and put it out as its own video and call it the James Williams rant, because it was truly unadulterated, epic. Todd says we got an owner that will just wave the pom-poms and let football people run the team. So the 14th and never. We are gonna suck for another 4 years. Who do you think we bring? There's nobody left. It's funny. I know you might be a little late to the party.
Welcome to the party, pal.
But we looked at it, and we looked at what quarterbacks were out there still after Jameis Winston went, and there's not a lot of names that you're like, yeah, that's a guy that I want to bring in. There's not a lot of names. NFL free. We'll go do it again. Well, look, maybe I missed a name, because you know what? There's always possibility that I missed a name. Okay, let's look. Let's look one more time. Winston signed, Darnold signed, Wilson signed, Mariota signed, Jacoby Brissett signed, Tyrod Taylor actually got a 2-year deal from the Jets, Trubisky signed, Gardner Minshew signed, and Kirk Cousins signed. All you got left is a 35-year Ryan Tannehill. I think Teddy Bridgewater he's done, he said. Drew Lock, Tyler Huntley, Joe Flacco, Brian Hoyer, Joshua Dobbs, the astronaut, Nate Stubfield, Blaine Gabbert, Carson Wentz, Brandon Allen. I think Brandon Allen signed. I thought he signed somewhere. Trevor Siemian, A.J. McCarron, Mason Rudolph, and Felipe Franks. You know, if we could get Felipe Franks, that would be pretty cool, because Tim in Spanish just means Tim. So when I had to take Spanish in high school, you had to have a Spanish name. So Tim didn't translate in Spanish. So my Spanish name was Felipe, which is Philip. So I think it would be awesome if we got Felipe Franks. That'd be a great sound effect. And yes, there will be a How Dare You Question Joe Shane sound effect coming up to replace the How Dare You Question Joe Judge sound effect. I got to find the lightning bolt, though. AJ says, hey, Tim, think about bringing back Kevin. No, Kevin Zeiler would be a great idea. We have no money. We have, after tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we have $2 million with the rule of 51. You are going to need to restructure Thomas and Lawrence immediately. Hope Waller retires. And we've said it before. We will say it again. I will say it till the chickens come home to roost. If Joe Shane has the idiocy to touch that contract to Daniel Jones and take any of that bonus money and convert it into salary and push it, because all the bonus money doesn't go into 1 year. It usually gets pushed out into multiple years. So you would push more money into 2025 for Daniel Jones. Joe Shane would get this call.
I don't want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is. Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
James' rant was better than that. James' rant was better than that. Oh my God. And I'm telling you, the contract for the guy from the Raiders, Gunners, the long snapper, Singletary, They haven't even been added in yet. They haven't been added in yet. And after tomorrow with the rule of 51 at 4 o'clock, we got 2.1 million. And we still don't have a quarterback. Still don't have a CB2. Still don't have a safety. Still don't have any linebackers. Why am I the only one that sees this? Hey, we're beating R0Bs live on X. We have 100 plus. He's only got 92. We're beating R0B. My life is just a beat, Rob.
That's what she said.
Oh my God, guys! I tell you, it's tough being a Giant fan. It really is. I literally sit there at times and because a lot of people live and die with this team, and I get that, and I understand that, and a lot of people sports it's this it's this escape, and I get that, I get all of that, I really do, and I could take or leave the Giants. I mean, it's not going to bug. If I never went to another Giant game again, it's not going to bug me because I've been to tons of them. We only have 64 likes. Get up to 70, or I'm not finishing this thought. I'll just sit here and push buttons.
That's what she said.
But I don't live and die with this. I get aggravated about it. I get mad about it because I'm a fan. But at the end of the day, I could just leave it be. And that's why you have to have other things in life. So beating Rob on Twitter, that just makes me smile. Oh, my God. Cortez Smith, I love Penix. He has accuracy issues, but no, he doesn't have accuracy issue. Penix had accuracy issues on his deep pass, which was uncharacteristic. I can't even talk for him in that championship game. He hits those 3 big pass plays in that championship game that were open. That's a whole different game. And everyone that loves JJ McCarthy, I'm going to say this one last time, and this is a lie. I'm going to say it more than once. Everyone thinks the stock of Penix dropped during the championship game and McCarthy went up, but McCarthy did not complete a 3rd or 4th down pass till the end of the 3rd quarter in the championship game. They won that by running the ball and playing defense is how Michigan won their games all last year. Not saying McCarthy is not going to be good. I'm not going to say it. But I am going to say this. Just look at it in facts. Now, if you take a look at the Combine, Penix showed what he can do. Penix showed his ability. McCarthy showed that he has the ability to get the ball deep, but I think he needs to generate a little bit more power and a little bit more torque to do it than the people like Joe Milton or our old buddy Penix, which is not a big deal because not everyone is going to have the arm strength of a Michael Penix or a Joe Milton. Well, that's fine. I have no problem with that. At least we have fantasy football. No, I don't do that. Glengarry Gren loss. Prospects are weak. No one are weak. Always be closing. Always be closing. Coffee's for closers. We used to have that sound effect too, but I like this sound effect better for coffee.
God damn, Jimmy. This is some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on us.
Such a great movie. I really do think I'm going to cut the James thing. I think I'm going to cut it. It's going to take me a while to do it because I'm going to have to edit it out. Not edit it out, but I'm going to have to edit that hour. Y'all know why I'm so depressed so much. He fits right to the channel. James does one more fan. He fits right to channel. James does one more clown fan. I don't know what that means. If you're trying to be derogatory, you probably need to do it a little bit better. Let's see here. If it was the 39th pick, we gave Carolina. I'm done. It was the 39th pick. We didn't give this is the thing and we swapped 5th rounders this year. We had like 140. Now we got like 160. We didn't give them the Seattle pick. We gave them our pick. Oh my God. Do you feel that the Giants could get McCarthy at 6 in the draft? If they did, it's a reach. I already said that. If you're going to do that, trade back, get an additional 1st rounder, turn around and and turn around and, try to get, but the problem is this, again, with these first rounder picks come with guaranteed 4-year salaries. So the way the cap sits, you're not really going to have the opportunity to get another first rounder because it adds to your cap space, which is already at a minimum with the Brian Burns and Runyon deal alone. And we haven't even factored in the other deals. So you're going to need to restructure or waive somebody, and you're going to need to restructure both Thomas and Lawrence. You're going to have to push some of that money back out into 2025. You touch Jones deal, I'm done with you. And you're going to hope that Waller retires. But there was talk that Shane talked him out of it. How many likes do we have? We have 100 and something people watching on whatever the thing is called, YouTube. We have 69 likes. Can we get to 75? I don't know why. Tim says, Dr. Garrett says, Tim, if we don't sign a quarterback, you might need to do a full-time karaoke channel. I would love that. I love that. I can't sing well at all, but I think I'm the greatest singer in the world. Tim, how is it that the older you get bigger and stronger? What's your secret? This drink. You want to know why? Because it's simple. I'm gonna tell you why. All you need to do, if you want to look bigger and stronger as you get older, hang out with short people. Hang out with people, like I said, hang out with people like Dom. There you go. You hang out with short people. That's how you do it. There's no there's no way. Look, here's and this is me with John Michael Schmidt. See, look, I look tiny. I'm tiny against JMS, even though we do look like we're related. I loved it because when we went to the rookie symposium, somebody asked me after we took the picture, and I was walking back and around, and I was talking to someone else, and someone goes to me, "Is that like your son or your cousin or your nephew or something?" Because he goes, "You guys have the exact same chin. You have the exact same cheeks. You have the exact same chin. You have the exact same nose." Like Forrest Gump said to Lieutenant Dan about Bubba, "No, sir, we are not relations." Oh my God, we're on a road to nowhere. Was that sarcasm about Felipe Franks? Yes, it was very much sarcasm. Well, don't wait a minute. We have a sarcasm button somewhere. Do I have to find the sarcasm button? Hold on.
Think you gonna get away
That phrase make
You say I have a
what's your
think you gonna He didn't fall.
But that's okay, remember?
Found it.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
Just for you, my friend, I'm going to use the sarcasm button. It's number
Warning.
24. All right, we now know it. Salute to Big Daryl. Salute to James. For a team that's salary capped, why didn't we sign Wilson for $1.5 million? He actually got 1.2. So just make it better, even worse. Todd Taylor says I'm okay because I don't let them upset me anymore. This is depressing when they do things that don't make sense, like $160 million for one WC win. You're right. We're all a card to win. You're right. Exactly. What are we exactly? Where does all the Barkley hate coming from? I don't know, because players going to hate, and the player going to hate it, and I just shake it off. Just ask the Swifty OGR Sports. Roy says, "Are you going to the Giants versus Panther game this year? Is it in Carolina or is it in New York?" If it's in Carolina, I could go visit family. Tim, I can drive my forklift right into Shane's office and just park it there and says, "What are you doing?" James, I gotta cut the rant. I really do. It's gonna take me a little while, but I really need to just take that rant, and I'm gonna, with your permission, I am going to call it the James Williams Rant Hour. And I'm going to I want to make a video of it. I don't know how many likes or views we're going to get on it, but just for me, because I thought that was the funniest shit ever. When you pulled down your skull cap over your head and pretended you were riding on a buckboard, oh my God. And I love it because someone sent me an email last night, and it was the funniest thing in the world because they emailed me and they were evidently watching and listening on the HD radio in their car, which I thought was crazy. And he goes, "I nearly died when you stopped the whole stream and told James it was your turn to be the angry black man." It was fun. It was fun. Blackbird says we need Waller to be a family man. Waller should spend time with his family, man. He should go and focus on his rap career because he's really good. Waller is, his rap career, his music, he is just like this guy that just exudes, sexiness. I mean, he is like Barry White, R. Kelly, Usher, all rolled into one, man. I mean, I really think that Waller should go out there and focus solely on his rap career. Come on. Don't you think that? I think that would just be perfect. I think it would be awesome. I can't even find Darren Waller's Twitter. I'm trying to find it because I wanted to play his rap music to show everyone how great it is. Now we're smoking, Rob. 102 to 89. Yeah, I'm not competitive. I'm a little bit competitive. I'm slightly competitive. Yeah, I am. And I'm also slightly superstitious. I'm trying to find the stitious one. Oh, that's a good one, too. I love this one. You can do it! Oh, no! We suck again! Blazin says, what's up, dude? Everything's going good. Everything's going great. Big Blackbird says, Joe can save $32 billion by not re-signing Barkley and McKinney. McKinney was generally a shock to me. We'll miss Saquon. No, he didn't save $32 million. He saved $32 million to trade for Burns and get Runyon because it's actually less money if we brought in both McKinney and Barkley back. Good afternoon. What's up, Blackbird? I'm so upset. I'm going live in the morning. I'm so used to going live in the morning. I don't know. Permission granted. Thank you, James. Waller is better than Kadarius Toney at rapping. That's for sure. Oh, yeah, he's a whole lot better. OGR is a Swiftie. As a Swiftie aficionado that I am, I think Taylor Swift has more rap talent in her left finger than Darren Waller. I think people just are discrediting Darren Waller, man. I really do. I think that here we go. Let's see here. He is a singer, man. I don't know what the hell. He's actually on. Is he actually on iTunes, Darren Waller? Oh my God. Is this his song? Can I play this without getting in trouble? I think I have to play. Oh yeah. It's the official music of Darren Waller. Perfect. Oh yeah, come on. Dude, you got to quit, man. Quit football and work on this. Please. I will buy both your albums that are probably going to be sold. Waller's a very talented man, I must say. There is talent, and there is Darren Waller talent. Maybe Waller and WNBA wife can convince him to retire and watch her games in person. I still love the whole shit with he left because he got traded because of the wedding. He didn't get traded because of the wedding. He got traded because he was on the wrong side of 30, making $10 million a year on a rebuilding Raiders team, and he had been injured for 2 years. And the Giants were stupid enough to trade for him. That's how he got traded. You would have to be hurting the future of kids allowing Waller to rap, but Waller. But maybe if he's Joker, they can bring the world peace. It's all sick dance moves, man. I got them all, man. I was in the club back in the day. Oh my God. All right. How many likes do we got? All right. I gotta wrap this up, guys. It's 1:30. I got a turkey now in the smoker. We got 76 likes. That depresses me a little bit. You guys are so awesome. We can't even get to 100. We had 140 people in the chat. We can't get to 100. I'm just going to push buttons till we get to 80.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Draft, baby. Yeah.
I always love that one.
Gotta get to work.
Uh-oh.
That's right.
Yes.
Come on. My name is Willie. Baby, I keep the ladies creaming and all my fans got screaming. You can defeat me. You're dreaming.
Flex your chest. Get Metrex. It's OGR's finest. OGR says, I demand the next time you bring me on, you find the most evil Taylor Swift song to play because how much it matches my evil persona. You're going to think this is shocking. I think I only know one Taylor Swift song, and that's the Shake It Off song. I don't know any Taylor Swift songs. I don't even think my wife listens to Taylor Swift. I think she would listen to someone like Taylor Swift. I think that'd be kind of cool. Waller reminds me of younger LL Cool J when I first saw that. No, not even close. LL Cool J, man. Like I said, I go back to LL Cool J when he had rap battles with Kool Moe Dee. LL Cool J, man, back in the day when he was first coming up and he was, he was a young rapper. I think somewhere I still have the rap battle tape between him and Kool Moe Dee. I think it was back in 85. I think I have it somewhere when he did that. Come on, LL Cool J with I Need Love. And going back to Cali, then he comes back strong when Mama Said Knock You Out. I mean, come on. Mama Said Knock You Out was back. People forget it was in 1990. LL Cool J was on, with the radio soundtrack, not radio sound, this radio album was back in 87 or 85. I can't remember the years back in. But come on. I Need Love. And then he did what? He did Raising Hell. And what was it? Licensed to Ill, I think. It was around that time as well. That thing, and that was back in the day, man. You had Curtis Blow. That was back. That was back in the day. Yeah, I always tell people don't understand. I am truly old school hip hop. I am as old school hip hop as you can get in reference to this stuff because radio was just a classic album. And it had such an influence at the time in reference to the world of hip hop. Rock the Bells. I Need a Beat. I Can Give You More. I Can't Live Without My Radio. Disrespecting LL Cool J by talking to you and anything about him and Darren Waller just pissed me off. I'm just joking. A young LL Cool J, blasphemy, how dare you? When were we 4-0? We were 4-0. Didn't remember that. LL says, I saw LL Cool J get chased down and beat up on Hillside Ave. Really? I didn't know that. Oh my God. LL Cool J. I could talk old school rap all the time, all day long. Because that was, I was still in, back then I was still a teener. I was still in high school. I was still well into high school. I mean, not well into high school, but I just basically got into high school when that shit came out. And you used to be able to go down to to back in the day, you used to be able to go down to Brooklyn and the Bronx and all those places. Well, not the Bronx, not the Bronx back in the 80s, not the Bronx, but you literally, you would buy these tapes out of people's cars, the trunks of people's cars, and they would be just regular cassette tapes. And you were a baller, man, if you had a cassette player in your car. I mean, forget about it. And and it's one of those things you grew up on. Like I said, I've had the I'm going to say sheer luck that I was able to do those things in New York. And then we talked about City Gardens in Calhoun Street in Trenton all the time. I would go there all the time, and I saw people that I saw Nirvana before they were big, Green Day, Public Enemy, Guar, Henry Rollins, the Henry Rollins Band. You saw all these, alternative bands. I remember seeing Green Day on a snowy night on a Tuesday, and nobody was there because it was a storm, and we actually saw Green Day. I remember seeing Nirvana at one time and thinking they sucked. And I love it because Jon Stewart used to be a bartender at City Gardens. And I always laugh because I always tell people I must be the only person in the world that never met or remembers or even remembers Jon Stewart at City Gardens. Must be the only person. And I was there because you had DJ Carlos. What was it? 99 Cent Dance Night with DJ Carlos. Oh my God. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here because I need love. Smash that like, says for the love of MMA. Let's see. Seeing the Henry contract verse was what we gave Singletary. It was a head scratcher. It doesn't make any sense. That's why he started lifting weights back in the day. I remember that. Lando said used to drive down the Bronx during lunch break in high school in the 80s to get weed. That was the place to get weed. It was the place to get weed in the 80s, and it was the Bronx. You want to blow, you had to go uptown, man. But the weed, yeah, that was the place to get. It was the place to get weed, 100%. I remember buying on this is before Run DMC became popular. I remember buying Run DMC cassette from the trunk of somebody's car. And I mean that's just shit that's just shit you don't forget. Let's say the only time Waller's rapping should be allowed is in the locker room of the opponents. Dr. Garrett says, I've been trying to give Waller other options to give us cap relief. Like I said, he should just go out there. I was at the Funhouse in 1983 when Run DMC recorded Here We Go Live. Wow, I didn't know that, Logic Science. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, guys. We are going to end it there because it is 1:30. I got to go get my kid. We got 80 likes. I really do appreciate everyone, especially that hung out for these lunchtime streams. We're going to do one more stream tomorrow at noon. I was going to do a 4 o'clocker, but because that's when free agency technically starts. But we're going to do one more. I want to thank everyone for helping me crush Rob. And reference to people watching, Rob only had like an 88 to like 116 on Twitter. We're destroying him. We're Dr. Destructo.
Warning.
What? Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German?
Forget it, he's rolling.
We're always rolling, and I appreciate everyone for dropping in, dropping by, and dropping out. This is Tim is all my big blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Don't forget to stay tuned for Wednesday stream at 12 p.m. And don't forget to check out today's video and go to NewYorkGiantsLive.com. Hope you have the rest of your safe and wonderful day. You know what, guys? I am out of here.